it's a brand new week, Nigeria. I know you must have had an amazing weekend, but hey, now it's time to wake up and shake it up. Yeah?
Certainly. I mean, it's 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
So it's a good idea to wake up to us, you know, as we bring a breath of fresh air to your morning. How's it going?
Quite a bit lined up today. I'm doing good. I'm loving the bow tie, by the way. You know, it's very dapper and professor-like.
Hand knitted.
Really?
Yeah. Someone
knitted that for you?
No way.
Oh, you bought it hand knitted? Okay, all right.
Anyway, it's going to be a special day. It's still, you know, it's the first Monday in the month of August, I think.
It is.
So yeah, things are still kind of fresh, and you know, we're trying to just keep everything really nice and fresh for you today.
We have quite a lineup, and we have to hurry to it. My name is Titilayo Oyinson.
And I'm Yomi Ohokwe.
First up today, please know that we have music always in our back pocket. It's a great way to start things off. First act we have for you is Olvo, a young Afro-pop artist signed to Cube Music Management.
Check it out. Babs Kadini is a 19-year-old mind deceptionist. I don't know what that means.
Mind deceptionist.
Yeah,
wow.
Mind deceptionist. Or you can say magician. And he's going to be bringing you his story shortly on the show. And then we move on to another musical performance from Jojo, who's going to be performing his song from the popular slang, Day or Day.
And coming up after that, you know, it's some Monday motivation. We have Mr. Fola Daniel Adelisi coming into the studio. He's going to be sharing the essence of focus and how it helps you achieve.
On car maintenance, Ayosha Fela is back, and she's going to be identifying signs of suspension failure in vehicles. Now, when your suspension fails, I mean, you're not going anywhere. That's the end. Yeah, that's the end of the trip for that day.
You just park there and move on.
Wow, so, for real?
You either take a bike or
suspension
a cab.
failure.
Yeah, so look out for those signs and stick around for that later on the show.
And on SME, as we always have every Monday, we'll be joined by the chief Zobo lover, Daphne Akatuba. Now, she is the CEO of Segi's Zobo, and that should be a really interesting conversation.
Looking forward to it. I mean, you know, there's a...
Like Zobo that we make in our house. See all the preferity, as they say.
When you're going to be supplying... If you're going to be supplying supermarkets and thousands of people, you need a minimum standard at least.
Interestingly, was it not just last week we were talking about the way people produce Zobo? Nice to have someone who actually does it the right way.
It was just amazing that we could get her to come today, but we have to rush over to the news now. And Ibrahim is on standby. We have Ibrahim right there, and you know, whenever Ibrahim is in the studio, we can't be, you know, we have to make sure we involve
It's always
him
business-like.
Yeah. So what are we going to involve him with this
I don't know.
I should probably ask him the last time he had Zobo or Kunu or something. I just like teasing him.
That's a very good question.
I think we have it on the premises. If you
without your glasses again.
Nice. I think some people say I'm fine without the glasses. I'm trying to push it without using the glasses because it has been said that you're not born with the glasses. So I'm just trying.
But you need it to read, though.
Absolutely. Okay, let's rock it. A day after the presidential candidate of the AAC was taken from his home, the Department of State Services has come out to say it has him. The spokesman of the DSS told journalists that the journalist was arrested because he called for a revolution and planned to destabilize Nigeria.
With us. He has crossed the lines. He has threatened public safety. Showore has, as a matter of fact, threatened the peaceful coexistence, social harmony of Nigeria.
The DSS believes Mr. Showore was in touch with foreign organizations in a bid to carry out the plot.
And someone is calling for revolution in Nigeria. And what is revolution? Primarily, it means a revolt. It means an insurrection. It means insurgency. It means forceful takeover of government. And this is a democracy. Nigeria operates a democratic system.
The DSS spokesman explains why the agency is right in arresting Mr. Ashore.
And why we see with us, he has crossed the lines. He has threatened public safety. Ashore has, as a matter of fact, threatened the peaceful coexistence, social harmony of Nigeria.
Now, the Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria has condoled with Christians on the death of Reverend Father Paul Ofu, who was killed in Enugu State. The leader of the association in the southeast also denied allegations the killing might have been carried out by herders. Gidado Sidiki pleaded with the media to confirm information before dissemination.
Because the members of Mieti Allah here are peace-loving people. They are here to graze their cattle. They are here to look for the greener pasture. They are not here to cause any havoc with any host community. When we see somebody that we are suspecting, we hand him over to security apparatus to investigate.
The death toll of Nigerians killed in South Africa has continued to rise, with the frequent xenophobic attacks between 2016 and 2019. Statistics show that more than 110 Nigerians have been killed between 2017 and 2019. In June, Obianoju Ndubuisi Chukwu, a Nigerian insurance chief, was killed in her hotel room. Her death sparked outrage, with the Nigerian Senate urging President Muhammadu Buhari to issue a travel alert on South Africa. The latest of the killings of Nigerians in South Africa is that of the 17-year-old Chinonso Obiaju, who was killed in Johannesburg, and a 33-year-old taxify driver, Benjamin Okoronkwo, who was shot dead in his car around 3 a.m. on Saturday. The attackers, mostly black South Africans, cite competition for jobs and incursion of criminals from other parts of Africa as reasons for their outburst against black foreigners in the country. And the dust raised by the communal clash between the people of Ikale and Araro Miobo in Ondo State is yet to settle. Ayodeji Moradeyo reports that leaders of both communities are trading words over the issue that led to the destruction of property.
The wounds created by the communal clash between the people of Ikale and Araro Miobo in Ondo State are yet to heal, weeks after the avoidable crisis. People of the two communities who had lived peacefully together until now are trading blame over the clash. The crisis over land ownership claims was triggered by an Akure High Court judgment in May, which ceded 57 out of 59 communities in Odigbo local government area of the state to the Ikale people. The visit of Governor Rotimi Akeredolu to Agwalaye, the flashpoint of the crisis, has doused the tension. But the people are counting their losses after houses were burnt and lives were lost in the crisis. The two camps have also continued to trade words over the causes of the crisis. The people of Ikale, through one of their leaders, a retired Army General, Olubajowa, alleged that the state government and security agencies were biased in handling the crisis.
There should be fairness, equity, and justice on the part of government in handling the issue of Araro Miobo settlers and the Ikale people who were wounded. There were destruction of property and lives were lost. I think the government should show more concern.
But the people of Araro Miobo faulted this claim, blaming their Ikale neighbors for the crisis.
Can a governor be in office and people are dying, killing, burning houses, and keep quiet? The governor cannot keep quiet. What kind of governor will take that?
The governor is not biased. That no governor will wait for people's life to be wasted, for people's farm to be destroyed.
With the setting up of a committee to look into the crisis by the state government, it is hoped that the two communities will sheathe their swords and embrace peace. Ayodeji Moradeyo, TVC News, Akure.
That is on the news for this hour. We have to take this short break. Sports is next when we return.
Yes, indeed. Thanks so much, Mary.
You took the line together. It's interesting what's happening in the papers this morning. The first Monday in August, might I add. It says on the cover of The Nation, the presidency, DSS activists clash over planned protests. There are 4 different quotes and who said what right there on the cover in summary. It also says 2.2 billion naira voted for cattle settlements, and there are more insights on page 6. AMCON takes over firms over 3.6 billion naira debts. It also says El Zakzaki, police warn against procession. Oyo NURTW chief auxiliary cries out. Investors' losses hit 1.38 trillion naira and 117 million naira worth of items recovered from senator. I'll wrap it up with this one, a very sad one. Man kills in-law over wife's alleged infidelity. That's what we have on the cover of The Nation.
All right, let's check out the Vanguard. Revolution call. You can't change government without polls, presidency tells Showore. Angry reactions as DSS confirms Showere's arrest moves him to Abuja. No going back on today's protest. NIM pro-Biafra group opt out. Buhari's government behaving like a bachelor, says Shoyinka. It's bad democratic temperance, Afenifere says. It's leadership incompetence. Everybody has an opinion about this, and you can read that on the cover of the Vanguard. Other stories here. Benue, 81 herdsmen convicted, 3,000 cows seized, says Autumn. And federal government earmarks 2.2 billion naira for Ruga in 2019 budget, says presidency. And some other stories here. 9 banks scale CBN's dividend hurdle. 4 fail. Rescue of kidnapped victims in Ogun. How the battle was won. And State of the Nation. June 12 can recur, says Kolade. That's what we have on the cover of the Vanguard.
We have the Guardian newspaper coming up next. It says here, Shoyinka, others protest as DSS moves Showore to Abuja. It also says the groups urge unconditional release of activists. His plot is to topple democratic government. Buhari warns planners of revolution. It's a story that starts on the cover and continues on page 6. Right at the top, just under the masthead, it says, police vow to stop El Zakzaki protests in Kaduna as trial resumes. Saudi Arabia modernizes stoning of devil to check stampede at Arafat. Nigeria not prepared for another Ebola outbreak. Page 4 has more on that. Then it also says, Fatoyibo returns to the pulpit 1 month after stepping down. Metro section has more on that. Then finally, provide land for Ruga, presidency urges states. As resettlement scheme gulped 2.2 million naira in 2019 budget, says NI. That's what we have on the cover of The Guardian.
All right, let's check out the Daily Sun. President Buhari's advisor gives insight on grazing projects for herdsmen. 2.2 billion naira already in 2019 budget for Ruga. And Cardinal Okoje, Yakasai, former ministers, others disagree over implementation plan. We're not aware of such appropriation, say reps. And up here, Showore, Buhari behaving like a bacha, says Shoyinka. You're guilty of double speak, presidency fires back. And why he was arrested, says DSS. And on the cover, here we also still have Revolution Now rally. Don't try it in rivers. Wike warns as TUC, NLC, TUC, Ariwa, Igbo groups deny involvement. And Kanu blasts Ohaneze, Southeast governors, over killing of Enugu priest. And xenophobia, federal government South Africa disagree over killing of Nigerians in South Africa. And we have an interesting picture on the cover of the Daily Sun there. And children trying to fish in a flooded area in Obodo. Wow. Obodo? Is it Obodo or Obodo?
I'm not sure which one.
In Imo State. It's somewhere in Imo State. So they're trying to fish there because of the flooding. And incidentally, we have another picture there, also on the cover of the Vanguard here, talking about flooding. And there's a man is rescued from a mudslide with the help of local divers. Wow.
Oh, wow.
And that happened in the Galadimawa area of Abuja.
Wow.
And now it followed the torrential rain that took place over the weekend. And really, really heavy rains since Friday. And there were also cars that were trying to rescue people who were trapped. And, it was, quite a scene to behold. People recording it in their mobile phones and all of that. So, yeah, that's what we have.
I hope he was rescued safely.
Yeah, indeed. Quite a bunch of stories.
Quite a few, actually. But it should be noted that, a lot of the stories are different today, as opposed to some days where we got every single day we get the same stories.
Yeah, but all the papers do have the story about the Revolution Now protest.
True.
And the arrest of Shorire, which took place over the weekend. And everybody has an opinion. The presidency, everybody's just talking about it. And
it has the quotes here on the cover of The Nation.
Oh, yeah.
According to the presidency, it says, there is a difference between peaceful call to protest and incitement for revolution. Meanwhile, Soyinka says, if we cannot learn from the histories and experiences of other societies, let us at least learn from ours. The DSS say, what is a revolution? It is primarily a revolt, insurrection, insurgency, forceful takeover of government. And Falana says, security agencies should stop embarrassing President Buhari, who had cause to lead peaceful rallies.
That's Falana there. Well, everybody has, really, really strong opinions about what happened. And the fact that, look, they just said that, some people are saying, look, you can't call for a revolution when there's a government in power. And then some other people are saying he meant peaceful protests. So,
Yeah. Well,
see how it goes. Just be careful out there.
Please do. But at that, we have to take a quick break. We'll be back with the traffic situation in Lagos. Welcome back. It's still Wake Up Nigeria. Time for the traffic update now. Please note you can always be a part of this segment. Send us a message on Instagram, Facebook, or even Twitter. Let us know what your traffic situation is and perhaps take a picture of it. Take a traffic selfie and use our hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC. I'm starting in the Ojo area of Lagos, actually starting from the Iba area of Lagos, going through Ojo area. From Lasu Gate, if you're coming, is it east? Yes, east. If you're coming east towards Orile, you have about an hour, 14-minute journey, with the trouble spots being, of course, the junction that joins the Lagos-Badagry Expressway and the Iyanoba Road. And the traffic is really, really slow, going all the way down to where Consolidated Breweries is. And then you have a lot of tension building up around the Alakija area, which is around Satellite Town area of that particular expressway. But it's home free until you get to the Festac First Gate area. So it does seem to be where most of the traffic is right now. So if you're planning to go through planning to go through Festac First Gate, you're going to have quite a journey ahead of you. It's just red lines all over the place, and it doesn't seem to ease up until you get to mile 2. So mile 2 bus stop, just before the bus stop, Sub-Free Road, and then of course the junction tenses up once again. For those of you who are going past mile 2, heading towards Orile bus stop, it does seem to be freer than it was last week, even though they have been saying construction is going to start on that road very, very soon. It does seem like, should we say, Okadas or motorcycles have taken over that road now. Mostly people are using bikes as opposed to cars to get around. But not to worry, there are some alternative routes. You could decide to take Koka area if you're going to Orile. You could decide to take Igomu straight. There are 2 different routes there, and likely someone will be able to direct you if you don't know the way. All right, so that's what I have from Lasu to Orile Gomu. What do we have in the kitchen? Any updates?
Like updates in the kitchen.
Want to check out a few locations right now. I have some tweets here. The first is we have giddy traffic with some updates. Mangoro inward Ilezik en route along is now very busy. That's about 12 minutes ago. And it's also affecting Sule Junction at the moment. But there's LASMA presence there, so that's a good thing. And also, because of traffic on Ikorodu Road, Wode Oniri motorists have resulted in passing the BRT lane. So they're causing some traffic because a number of cars are, going one way. And a small warning here from Giddy Traffic. It says, beware, rehabilitation of Oba Akran ongoing. So what that means is leave your home early or use alternative routes. Because of that rehabilitation, the road is really bad. So now with the rehabilitation going on, it's going to be very difficult to pass that area. So already it's 6:30, so it's probably already very busy by now. So yeah, those are the updates I have here.
Okay, Titi, do you want more updates or you have stuff
let me take this one before I take your updates, Mary. It says here if you're coming west from Aja area to Victoria Island, you have a 1 hour 23-minute journey. The trouble spots begin just after the Chevron toll gate. If you're coming from that area and you've gone past the Dreamworld Africana Orchid Hotel area, as soon as you leave that toll gate, you're going to slow down almost to a halt. A lot of people have decided to take the alternative route and go through Chevy View, but that area is a little jammed up as well. And I do believe they've started locking that gate, if I can remember correctly. There is an alternative route there, but they've started locking that gate through the estate that you can use to escape it. But it's thick traffic all the way to Freedom Way. Now, Freedom Way is where you have the VFS office, that junction. So you're just going to be really slowly moving until you get to the VFS junction. All the way to Mara bus stop, you still have quite a lot of slow traffic. It doesn't ease up. As soon as you pass that roundabout, you slow down again to Lekki Phase 1 roundabout. Slow to the Lekki Phase 1 toll gate as well. And then once you pass the toll gate and go on to Ozumba and Badiwe, you have quite a free road until the Civic Center. Now that Civic Center junction, I don't know whether it's just, I know that traffic light there has a way of just spending like 2 seconds on green. I don't know, you have ever been through that?
Oh yeah, that happens
2 seconds on green, like I don't understand.
Yeah, it happens quite a bit. I just wanted to give a quick update here. Just like on Oba Akran that they're fixing the road. They're fixing the road along Ikorodu Road at some locations as well, especially in Mile 2 area. So somebody is saying at Giddy Traffic, beware, my Ikorodu people. If you are still at home and you have plans on going out, please stay in your house. Stand still from Majidun till Mile 12.
Wow.
Yeah, actually, that's due to the Mile 12 road rehabilitation.
Yeah, so they're rehabilitating that road. So right now, it stands still. So if you're still at home, probably, maybe make some calls, send emails. Walk out of the house. I mean, that's probably better for you. Because otherwise, I mean, you're going to be spending the next 3 hours.
Just make new plans.
Avoid it, though. Avoid coming to work.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, it's such, I don't know, it's very dramatic. Our roads are very, very dramatic. Imagine someone coming from Lasu, heading all the way to the island and having to come back for a meeting or coming back to pick up their child or something. It would just be like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We have to wrap this up, I'm afraid. I'll be joining you in the kitchen in a bit.
Okay, so this old traffic situation thing this morning, it's not funny. So,
throughout the weekend. Even same area that in the Mile 12 area, it was standstill yesterday. People spending hours. I saw people complaining on.
If you happen to be on 3rd Mainland Bridge right now, sorry. Like some people have been on 3rd Mainland Bridge since before 6 a.m. and they are still on the 3rd Mainland Bridge even now as we speak.
Wow.
Since before 6 a.m. The traffic situation is that bad this morning.
Dear me.
It really is that bad.
I think it's just one of those Mondays.
Well, I suppose so.
It's one of those Mondays where it's
Did it rain in your area? Did anybody?
It just drizzled a little bit. Yeah.
More like,
so it was. The rains are not heavy at this time. There's no forecast that says there are going to be heavy rains. I think it's just one of those Mondays.
Okay.
Okay, so guys, I like to talk about.
What day is it today?
It's Monday, and with all this traffic, most people are already stressed.
Okay.
You understand? So I find it ironic that today is also work like a dog day. Like
work like a dog day?
Like really? You're used to, you are panting and you just want to drop.
But that's every day for the average Nigerian.
Well, no, not for the average Nigerian, for the average Lagosian. Because you go to some states in Nigeria, and you wake up 7 a.m., take your bath. Sometimes you even get to stroll to your office because it's not 5. You're driving, it's probably 5-10 minutes. And you woke up 7 a.m., took your time to get ready. You're at work before 8.
Okay.
But try that in Lagos.
Hell no. It's not happening.
Yeah.
Especially if kids are part of this conversation. Speaking of kids, I was wondering, do you have a summer camp in mind for your kids?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
not a summer camp, just summer school, they call it.
Summer school?
Oh, yeah, we just activities planned. So what we're planning to do, instead of just sending them off to the summer school that we usually do, we have different activities planned. So 3 days here, 1 week there.
Oh, really?
So that just gives the experience more.
So you don't want them staying at home all day. That's where I'm going.
Who's going to keep an eye on them? That's another thing. Because you tell yourself you have help.
So the staying at home part, I've always been of the opinion that children actually need rest. So the holidays are for resting before school actually starts. And then you still do the whole wake up in the morning, brush teeth process, and they're still stressed, and then school now starts again in September. So
yeah, but they don't wake up that early.
Okay, so
during
it depends.
It depends on the camp, though.
It depends on the camp.
Yeah.
I think
most of them
they probably leave the house
9.
like 9:30.
Yeah.
Okay.
So some of them begin at 10.
Okay.
So I think it all depends. I mean, if they're taking tennis classes, that's probably in the evening.
Okay.
That's
cool.
If they're at Muzon, I think Muzon is doing something. That's a musical society.
Okay.
So you can learn different instruments and stuff like that. I think that's afternoon. So it just depends on what you choose.
Because sometimes it's about the parents again.
Will they
sometimes
have time?
yes,
Yeah.
because you might want your child to stay at home during the holidays, probably go visit someone. But there's a very high likelihood that the person you're shipping your child off to stay with, the children are probably attending summer school. So your child ends up going to summer school anyway. So it's a challenge of having help.
I heard
to help
from
you out
among some women's
care.
groups on WhatsApp and all, and I heard that the reason why some parents have just decided, summer school, summer camp is necessary is because they just don't trust people at
in
home
their house.
with their
Yes,
kids.
that's it.
You can't trust the nannies anymore. Well, we never really trusted them anyway. But
there was a time you could trust nannies, though.
You can't trust brothers and sisters anymore. You just don't know what they could get up to.
Well, look,
I don't know.
With kids, it's just I usually believe in giving kids a full experience.
Okay.
But if you're a parent, what you must do is, as much as possible, try to see whether you can find time or work something around your schedule so that you can, at least keep an eye on them for some part of the time, even if it's not, 24 hours.
An exhausted parent.
Yeah.
So it's just, let me even talk about the females. So you wake up early in the morning to prepare the family for the day.
Yeah.
Breakfast, get the kids ready, ship them off to summer school or wherever, or maybe your neighbor's place so that they can go to summer school with your neighbor. Yeah.
Wow.
And then you go off to work. You come back, say, about 7 p.m. with the Lagos traffic especially,
Goodness me.
completely exhausted. Yet you still have to drag yourself to the kitchen to prepare dinner for everyone. Now, you finish preparing the dinner.
Why are you painting?
The only thing you want to even consider is to lie down in bed. And then some motivational speaker called Uncle Yomi Owoke says, spend time with them. You say, hello, sir, please, can you come and help me spend the time with them?
So, it's really interesting and sad at the same time.
Yeah.
So the reason why I'm even saying this is because a lot of the parents are just trying to find somewhere to let them be there. It's not even actually about them learning something.
Yes.
Let them just be there. They're safe. There's security. There's a gate. There's a teacher there. They don't actually care what the kids are getting up to.
So I actually know of two families who, and I thought it was interesting. So one of the families, they're sending their kids off to Ibadan to go and stay with grandma and grandpa for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Which is not a bad thing, you know, because it's Ibadan, it's a bit more quiet.
They get to learn from grandma and grandpa.
Exactly. So
hopefully they get to pound you.
And I heard that grandma said that she's not speaking English to them at all throughout the 2 weeks. And I know somebody else who's sending theirs to as far as Ondo.
Wow.
Just sending off the kids for the holidays. So these are, like I said, experiences.
Yes.
So it really just depends. I mean, you get, so you might just
the
decide
most
that, you know
important
what?
thing is to have them engaged. You don't want an idle child.
That's
an idle child. Hey, that's the beginning of danger. There's a reason they said an idle mind is devil's workshop. Just make sure the child has.
We have to wrap this up now, but whatever your situation is, however you plan to do it, just make sure the kids are the focus, not yourself.
Yeah, not too much pizza.
Please, you are also important.
And movies.
Please, you are also important, but take care of the children as well.
We'll be back after this break.
My name is Babs Kadeni. I'm just a normal teenager, but one thing makes me exceptional. I can do magic. I do lots of magic. There are categories of magic: stage, close-up, and pre-planned magic. I love doing close-up magic the most, dealing with card tricks, asking them to pick a card, select a card at random. I'm not looking at the card, and I just take a look into their eyes and I tell them their card. They get wild and surprised. I want to show you guys a little bit of card trick. Can you think of any card you like? Card? Any card you like? So people don't know I'm a magician. Few people that know weird, people that I like playing, like when I want to buy something from them, I just do kind of trick where I turn my paper to money. These are the set of people that know, people that I buy things from, but all that people who live around the house don't know I'm a magician. Because I don't know, I don't like it when people actually disturb me too much to come and perform. I do a magic trick for people and they want me to keep on doing it, and at the time I get bored. I want new faces and new reactions. I had passion for magic when I was 5. Even though I never knew magic when I was 5, I started with science and magic. My friend discovered I was into magic, let me say 4 years ago. Even though they knew I loved magic when I was 5, they know I deal with science, experiments, chemistry, things like that. My father's reaction towards that magic was okay at first. Because I actually tricked him, and he eventually had to tell him how it was done. So he knew they were all tricks, because my dad actually does this card trick with my brothers. We call it 3-card monte. This is where you have to look for the odd card inside the 3 cards, and he will always lose. So he has that kind of skills also. We are street games. So that's when he discovered I had magic.
He was doing magic maybe about 10 years ago when he was in high school. I never thought that it would be going viral about it, because all I thought was it was just a mere play. But when I found out that it's getting better on it, you should keep on doing it.
I met a guy when I was doing my national diploma computer engineering at Yaba Tech. I met a guy who was my senior. He was a magician also. So he enjoyed me with magic, and it was easier for me to catch up with magic. The first thing he taught me in magic was how to read people's minds whenever they pick any card at random. Then we moved on to finding like how to get any card you picked in the deck, any card you pick, how to get it back, and how to control the card to my favorite position in the deck. It also taught me how to do card changes, how you change card color visually, and also sleight of hands. First ball, I'm just saying this, I drop in the other hand, I take the second ball, I drop them together in the hand like that. Watch. Like that. Don't freak out, just check that hand. Another version of mind game, which is kind of common within some people who are not into magic. It's a kind of mind game where you read people's mind by asking them to think of a country, telling them the country they're thinking of. I know it's really hard, they have more than thousands of countries. Well, this is a specific mind game we play as a magician.
Fascinating magic I've seen him do is that he told me to pick 8 cards from the deck and memorize 1 card out of the card. Then I gave the card back to him, face down. He didn't look at the deck at all. The card doesn't look at the card. Then he asked me to pick. He picked out 4 cards and asked me like, is one of my cards there? Then in my mind I say yes or no, not loud. I said yes. He did it about 3 times, and surprisingly he got the card that I choose right in my mind without even looking at the card, checking the card at all, whether this, and also he pronounced the name of the card.
See this? Are you seeing the card and the bag? Watch. 1, 2, like that. The deck vanish. Magic just comes my way and it goes easy for me. You can't do a trick for me right now and I won't know it's done. It's not possible. So every magician I see on YouTube, it's very hard for them. It's very hard for me to even get fooled by their magic, because at the stage which I am at magic right now, I don't think it will be easy for any magician to fool me.
I don't think he will take it as a professional. I don't think he will have time to take it as a professional work. But I know that he's cashing in on it, whichever way, you know. But even I don't know where he will be in 10 years time or a year time, but I know that it's education first.
I'm going to take this big. I'm going to take magic big, because magic is rare in Nigeria. To be sincere, I'm not the only magician, but it's very hard to find them, because they don't really go out to perform, because due to Nigerian mentality and the way people think about magic, they think you're using real jazz. Well, it's your choice. Trick, magic, voodoo, and jazz. It's your choice. Any angle you see it, that's how it is. I want to go to every state in Nigeria, making people know that I exist, that there's a guy somewhere that can blow their mind. And from there, I would love to take it international.
That was amazing. But I'm wondering, can I get him to, make me reappear in the Bahamas in 5 seconds? All right, it's time for us to give you our very first performance for the day, and this time it's by Sonny Jojo. Well, his real name is Joseph Ojodoma. He's a singer, songwriter, and producer whose genre of music is Afropop and reggae dance hall. Now, he's here to perform Day Your Day.
Yes, sir.
Yes, so day your day. You day your day, you're maintaining yourself.
No be lie, day your day, make I day my own. No stress me, please.
Fantastic. Okay, so you've been doing music for 4 years now, and I'm sure you've been able to decide who your biggest influences are and all, or who would you say motivates you or influences you the most in the music industry, locally and internationally?
Yeah, locally, I would say Don Babaji, Don Jazzy.
Okay.
And internationally, I would say Jay-Z.
Why both of them? Because we both know that they have some kind of clout, both of them.
Yeah, they are both dons, both bosses. And I want to be a boss. I want to be big.
You want to be big?
Yeah.
Okay, so your genre of music is Afro-pop. Yeah, and then I realized that many people who say their genre of music is Afro-pop usually have a fusion attached to it, like reggae and stuff.
Yeah. Afro-pop, reggae, and a spice of a British kind of mix to your sound.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So, day or day, it's time for you to take it away.
I'll be like, day or day.
Oh, Lord. See about to lower Lori and this is something you go so go. Producer, you go so. I am some. What up with your boy? No, you just there on the spoil my day. Hey, your Omega, day my own.
Welcome back. It's the first edition of Wake Up Nigeria in this new week.
Yes, indeed.
So thank you for joining us.
And as always, it promises to be everything and then some. We hopefully had a restful weekend, everybody. Did you?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hope you got a few hours sleep.
Yes, indeed.
Anyway, it's a new week, so we're expecting new things. My name is Yomi.
And I'm Titilayo Oyinson. We're live streaming at tvcontinental.tv and on Facebook Live at TVC Connect. Please send in those comments, contributions, send them on all our social media platforms with the hashtag WakeUpNigeria.
Of course, we also have our app available
I have to
for
take
download.
that hashtag again, I'm afraid.
Right.
It's Wake Up Nigeria on TVC. We changed that recently and I haven't got a hang of it yet.
Okay. Hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC.
Yes, indeed.
Now, you can download our app on the Apple iStore and the Google Play Store. From anywhere in the world, you can watch us live.
Yes, indeed.
Every single day.
And of course, we need our chefs to give our kitchen life. And with another enjoyable recipe, we have the one and only Chef Tina. Complete with the cap.
It's always a pleasure to have Chef Tina. And I see a twist to what she's making today. I'm actually very scared of this green liquid. I'm wondering, are you trying to slime us, like pour slime on all of us?
Oh, yeah.
Perhaps that might be the twist this morning.
Goodness me.
Things are already
boiling
in a rice cooker, so is there rice in there?
We are putting our rice in very soon.
Yes, so.
Chef Tina on fleek. Hey, I can't wait for breakfast.
Anyway, we're looking forward to what she has to offer us.
Yes, indeed.
Chef Tina didn't say anything about missing me, but it's fine.
Why
Sincerely speaking, you know, when you guys were on the traffic, I was like, oh my God, is this Yemi or Yomi or, you know?
Maybe he has changed. He looks different.
Do you know what? My kids actually missed you. Aww. And when they saw you, they were the first person that told me, hey, he's back. He's back. Welcome back.
Yeah. I'm going to bring some goodies for all the kids.
I want call.
Next, you
guys. I was 6 last week.
Anyhow, we have quite a bit coming up right here on the show. We have This Week in History, as always.
And of course, you know, Wake Up Nigeria is all about great music. And we have a second musical performance coming for you. And that is going to be from Ovo. And he calls this one Manage.
Take me and
Right. Then, of course, coming right after that is some Monday motivation to keep us up and running for the rest of the week. Mr. Fola Daniels will be back joining us to share the essence of focus and how that helps you achieve. You know, if you don't focus on the right place, you might not be able to get where you want to go.
All right, and on car maintenance, we have something very, very important, especially if you use Lagos roads. Talking about how to keep your car efficient.
The suspension
And focusing
issue.
on the suspension issues that you might have if you drive on really bad roads. Yeah, so Ayo Shofala is going to be joining us shortly.
And on SME, we'll be joined by Chief Zobo lover, Daphne Akatuba. Yes, she is the CEO of Segi Zobo Worldwide. That Zobo looks good. Did somebody just become thirsty?
Thick.
Somebody just get
It looks
thirsty.
really thick, that Zobo.
Coffee isn't helping me feel it right now.
Wow.
Coffee isn't helping. You stay away.
Like, no, I'm just trying to... No, but you know that's weird.
What?
Coffee makes me sleep.
I've heard that before with some people.
For some people, yeah.
But what some people think of is coffee laced with also, in fact, 30% milk and like 70% coffee.
Yeah.
You know?
I drink my coffee black, actually.
Really?
Even
And
my
it still
tea.
makes you sleep?
Yeah, I prefer
Wow.
black whenever I'm taking anything.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Tea, coffee.
I was going to mention Zobo, though. I've tried to make it before.
Okay.
And I did not do too well. It had all sorts of particles inside.
You're supposed to toss everything in a pot and boil it.
Yeah, so that's what I thought, but I think there is still some kind of system, time, an amount of time you're supposed to boil it. I think the leaves have to be a little bit fresher than I thought. My own had been there for like 6 months, but it's fine.
How can you use
it.
6 months old
It
leaves?
was inside a Ziploc, inside, you know, in the
once you
freezer.
see it.
Yeah, but and then I added pineapple. Pineapple wasn't really that sweet. Now made it sour. I don't know. Everything just going on.
You know, there's a trick to making zobo. So you boil your zobo. You understand? You sieve it. When you sieve it is when you add your extras. Some people boil their zobo with the pineapple, but it's usually good to just juice it up, then mix it up with the
It's
zobo.
long, man. I'll just buy the bottle of
All the stuff that you guys are saying about. You know, I mean,
it's just boiling it in the pot. I mean, it's not that hard.
Anyway, we're going to have more kitchen discussions with Chef Tina later. But right now...
But she's losing weight too.
I couldn't help but see you.
Good morning.
You're shorter than I.
I am shorter.
Yes.
Well, okay. Let me take off my shoes. Mike made me do this.
Hey, more like it.
Okay, so good morning and welcome to the kitchen radio on Wake Up Nigeria.
Good morning.
With me about the same height to Chef Tina. What are we making this morning for breakfast?
Okay, good morning. We are making spinach rice.
Okay.
And stew.
Okay.
So we have our rice.
All right. It's all boiled.
All boiled.
Okay.
Then we have our tomato, onions, and pepper blended, pre-cooked already.
Okay.
I have my vegetable oil.
Okay.
Then blended spinach.
Okay.
My eggs.
Okay.
And I have my rosemary, onions, curry, seasoning cube, then boneless chicken. I have, this is how the spinach actually look like.
Okay. Are we still making use of it like that?
No.
Okay, so we're only making use of the blended
one, yeah.
Okay, so how did you achieve this? Did you just put it in blender and then bring it out, or you had to do some special
I just
process?
use hot water, you know,
Okay.
to just soften it a bit, then put it in the blender and blended it immediately.
And that's
So
how you achieved this?
That's how I achieved this, yes.
Okay, so this water is liquid from it, or you had to add a bit of water?
Just little water. I added just a bit of it.
Okay, okay. So this is blended spinach. This is what goes into the rice?
Yes.
Hey, so good. Today is today.
So the rice is ready for me
Okay.
to add up my
The
spinach.
spinach,
Yes.
okay. So
I'm
we are
just-
heating oil there. What's going to be happening there?
I want to make the stew here.
Okay.
So let me
okay.
just quickly do this.
Okay.
While we run through the oven.
Here you go.
So my rice is already
cooked.
So I'm just going to add the spinach in it.
So basically, we're having colored rice today. Instead of it being fried like green rice, yeah, that's what we are having. So if you are very fond of Nigeria's green, white, green color, you could consider this for October 1 this year or June 12 next year. Oh, wow. Why did you just call this green rice? You just had to funkify it.
No, it's actually spinach rice. And you know, when you say green rice, people will just like, what did you use?
Okay. So, now, wow. So no food coloring needed for this one.
No.
You just use spinach rice.
I still have some left over.
Oh, so you're gonna... It's not green enough like this?
Yes, it's not green enough for me.
Yeah, we have been faithful, loyal, and honest to Nigeria today. Okay, so I guess all we have to catch up on later will be the process of making the stew. Yeah. And of course, what will be going with the spinach rice. However, it's time for us to take a commercial break. We have so much more when we return. Stay with us as Wake Up Nigeria. Now, wow. Yes, so I've got Ovo right here. Yeah, without the V, yeah. Okpeyemi Olokodano. He is a hip-hop singer and songwriter known professionally as Ovo. He has a number of singles to his credit like Fine Girl, Tonight, and more recently, Manage and Show Me. Right now, he'll be performing Manage. What's the idea behind Manage?
Yeah, Manage is a song that talks about how you and someone just manage together, when you don't have much.
Okay. Yes, please.
When you don't have much, it just speaks on money and all.
Okay.
Yeah. So for people to know that money isn't everything, that if you're in a relationship, you can still get over it together and stuff.
Now, for someone whose interest in music started from GSS 2, before you decided I'm going to do this thing seriously in SS 1, I'm wondering what your parents actually think of this. I'm very curious about it, especially the earrings. Why the earrings?
It makes me look like more of an artist, and it makes me look good somehow.
It makes you look good. Yeah. So, more of an artist. That's why you have the customized oval, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so, but your ears are pierced?
No, not pierced, just...
Why do I suspect you don't wear this when you're in the house? I'm just very... But your parents have been very supportive of your music, right? Okay. Okay. You should use your mic. So that I'm not the only one. I'm the one getting the gist. Nobody else is getting the gist. But it's okay. I can tell you everything he has been saying. He said we just talked about the earrings and how he tries to make sure he leaves home first before wearing the earrings.
Daddy, I told you.
He said, Daddy, I told you. Come on. Also, who are your biggest music influences locally and internationally?
Locally, you know what I look like now? Wizkid now. Come on.
Okay.
Then internationally, probably Drake.
Drake?
Yeah.
Oh, why Drake? Why Wizkid?
No, Wizkid is Africa, to be honest. Wizkid is everything.
Okay.
Like his songs speak to me, and maybe Drake, because just like Drake.
You just like Drake?
I just like Drake. But Wizkid, Wizkid.
So Wizkid is the reason you do a lot of Afrobeat infusion in your music.
And it was inspired by Fela, so...
Aha, okay. So how are you managing your education with music? Because I know those
stressful.
Are two major
really
things.
Stressful, really stressful. God over everything.
But God is not going to come down to help you. How are you managing it? You need to tell me. So someone out there who is thinking of how to manage it can also learn.
Yeah. I have time for both of it, Have time for your education, have time for your music.
So it's all about creating your schedule, making your schedule right. And
because I mostly work on music during the night and morning, so when I'm at school or something.
Okay, that explains his size. He doesn't have energy to eat properly. All right, so I'm going to let Ovo give us our managed performance. Please don't let us manage your musical. Make it top notch. Take it away.
Hey.
See, I never want to leave your side, oh. Baby, don't kick me out, oh. Nobody else, I will go manage, I will go back it, I will go manage, I will go back it, I will go send
Welcome back. How about a little bit of Monday motivation for you? Now, why do you need to focus? That's a good question. What does it do for you? And does it help you achieve anything? Our Monday motivation today, Fola Daniel Adelesi will be answering these questions for us. And Fola is a trainer and a professional speaker joining us this morning to talk about focus. Usually attribute focus to children. When you say, focus on your work, when the kids are growing up, you want them to read more, pay attention so that they don't fail their exams.
That's correct.
It's only more recently that we then discovered that, focus is also applied in your personal life, in business, and whatever. Can you just give us a definition, working definition of what focus is?
Okay, quickly, we should understand that focus is to narrow all your attention to a pursuit in life. It's about sieving every other thing that looks important, but is not actually important in achieving what you desire to achieve. So when we talk about focus, we're simply saying, what is the most important thing to you in life based on what your passion is, based on what your skills are, and finally, on what you want to achieve in life. So narrow all your effort. If you talk about focus, think about a camera. When you zoom in on an object, there are several other things that you can capture, but to focus is to zoom in the lens on a particular object. This is what I want, and that's what you focus on. That's what you take into the camera.
Now, Fola, one of the things that, life throws up many challenges. And any person you meet will tell you that, look, it's all well and good when you say focus and you read it in a book or in a magazine, right? But the reality of things is that life always happens.
True.
So you're trying to focus on one thing, there's distraction on the right and on the left. Something is happening over here in your money, with your business or your job, family, and things like that. How do you maintain focus on the things that are important?
People tell you they're focusing, but they're not focusing. They're just living life as it comes. They're taking each day as it appears. Now, there's a difference between taking each day as it appears and actually having a strong focus. For example, if you ask people, what's your focus? You say, oh, I just want to be a lawyer. Now, that looks like a focus, but you've not really narrowed down to anything specific. You ask a few people, what do you want in life? I just want to be comfortable. I just want to be rich. Now, that's not a real focus. So when they say, oh, I wanted to be rich and that didn't happen, I wanted to get a good job, that's not a real focus. There's hardly anybody who wants to be poor in life. There's hardly anybody who doesn't want to be successful. But when you now become more specific and you say, this is what I want to succeed at, and this is why I want to succeed. I'll give you a quick one. There was a young man who wanted to become a medical doctor, and when he was asked, why do you want to become a medical doctor? He then talked about a relative who took ill and eventually passed on. So the pain was driving him to say, look, if I become a medical doctor, I'll make sure this doesn't happen. Now, think about one of the founder of the Flying Doctors. Why did she start that? A loved one was lost, and she was looking for a way to resolve that problem. So that created a focus. Now, focus is driven by a passion. It's driven by something that is almost not negligible for you in whatever way. So it's not just something that can be pushed away by. It doesn't mean that life doesn't happen.
Right.
At some point, you will have setbacks. You can be delayed. But you see, it's only a temporary setback if you have a real focus. You're only slowed down a bit. Even in a relay race, if you're running a race and the baton falls, your focus is still to win the race. But when the baton falls, what do? You go back, pick the baton, and continue the race. So in life, there can be delays, but you still keep going.
I like that. One of the things that I've always wanted to find out about this thing called focus, so that we don't begin to speak like it's an abstract thing. I always wanted to ask, is this a mental thing or a spiritual thing? Because for a lot of individuals, when you talk about focus, it's like, okay, it's an exercise. It's a mental exercise that you have to go through or a process. So talk to us about that.
Focus is physical. For some, if you go to the extreme, it can be spiritual, but it's practically physical. For example, if I say I want a first class, like we started talking about students, what then do you focus on if you want a first class out of school? To start with, when you wake up in the morning, you schedule a time for reading. You go over the notes from the previous day's class, and you look at the kind of friends that you have around you. Do they have a similar goal? If they don't have a similar goal, then you can't work with them. Your focus is to make a first class, so you must work with students who are already first class material or who desire something similar. So focus is very, very realistic. You can identify people who share your dreams. You can identify people who share your aspirations, sit with them, move with them. You know, they say iron sharpeneth iron. So if you're not in the company of the people who share your dreams, then you're not focusing. You can't tell me that you want to make a first class and you spend 7 hours daily in front of television, or you spend 20 hours daily. You know all the TV series, you don't miss any one of them, you hardly read, or you spend 10 minutes reading and you want to make a first class. That's not possible. So if you can identify what you want and begin to identify what you need to do or cannot do in order to get... If you say that you want to be very fit, you want to be slim, and you're not exercising, that's not focus. So it's something very practical, but it starts with identifying one thing that you need to achieve and concentrate all energy, all resources to getting that thing done.
I like this direction. I also like that you're also making it practical for us to be able to relate with. Well, one of the things that I know people complain about, especially when you then get too serious and, you know, it's almost like, okay, I've focused on this thing and I've achieved it. So I get this temporary high of having achieved my goal that I focused on. And then what next? And for some others, you spent your whole life being focused on various things, and you've missed out on the good things of life.
The fun of life.
The fun.
Okay, see, when you have a goal and you have achieved it, you obviously can relax because you've achieved your goal. That was why you needed that focus. But you see, when you eventually achieve that goal, you still need focus to sustain it. Whatever is good requires effort to get it done. And when you eventually get it done, effort is also required to sustain the success. If you lose focus, for example, I saw somebody who was running to the finish line, and he automatically assumed that he had won the race. So he started slowing down and cheering somebody else up. While he was slowing down and cheering somebody else up, another person overtook him. So if you look at Mark Zuckerberg, look at Bill Gates, look at Jeff Bezos. Some years ago, Bill Gates was the richest, and he's been on the list consistently. Now, we know that he's no longer the richest because he's given out a lot of his wealth. But if he had lost focus, he would not be on that list anymore. Look at the other people who were hearing about them some years ago. Some of them were not hearing about them anymore. So you can achieve that success thinking, oh, it's now time to relax. If you relax, you lose. Or if you relax, you start failing. So it's even going to be worse because people would now refer you as someone who, they refer to you as someone who was once successful, and you don't want that.
Well, Fala Daniel, thank you so much for joining us on the show, talking about focus. Yes. And I'm sure that a lot of people watching this morning are saying to themselves, maybe I need to pay attention more and focus and achieve a lot more. FDA, thank you for joining us on the show. We'll see you again next week on Monday. We're heading to the kitchen now where the ladies are doing something with some green rice. I wonder what that means. Hey, guys.
Yeah, and we're making a success out of it. And we intend to stay successful, too. Thank you so much for that awesome conversation. Welcome back to the kitchen right here on Wake Up Nigeria. We still have Chef Tina. Yeah, she's in charge of the kitchen this morning, making us breakfast. Okay. See, our spinach rice is ready.
Yeah.
You see that? Yeah, aka green rice. But our spinach rice is ready. You like the look of it, don't you? I wish that we had left some whites in it. Green, white, green. Then
Okay, we can actually
that's an idea.
That. We'll do it.
Yes, we could do that for the serving. Yes. Oh, wow. Anyway, if you're just tuning in, you missed a lot. But there's more to catch up on. Check your screen right now for today's ingredients, okay? For our spinach rice and egg stew, all right? So you haven't missed so much, but you missed a lot at the same time. We're about to make the stew now. Yeah, so that's half of it.
I actually stir-fry the boneless chicken.
Okay.
So I'm going to add my blended tomato, onions, and pepper, pre-cooked already. So just going to add it.
Oh, since it's pre-cooked, it won't take so long.
It won't take so long, yes.
So you have tomato there and pepper.
Pepper, onions, blended.
Tomato, pepper, onions blended together.
Yes.
Okay.
So
See, there's something I do a lot too. When I have pepper like this, I put small water. Is it allowed?
When you have...
So we'll pour it, we'll pour it inside.
Mary, it depends on the kind of sauce you really want.
Yes, but this can feed
at least a baby.
Yes, small pepper on the baby's rice. Let's not waste it.
Okay. So while Mary is still finding what to do to that, I will just add my curry.
Okay. So is curry not turmeric for this dish?
No.
Okay.
Then my rosemary.
Chef Tina and Rosemary. Do you like it because it's my name?
Yes.
Okay, so we put a lot of Mary in it. She probably wants to cook me up. God help me.
Then little of my seasoning cube, because when I was pre-cooking the pepper, I added little seasoning cube and salt to it, so I won't have that slappy taste.
Okay.
So this is just it.
Wow.
So I'm just going to...
What's the purpose of the green pepper you put
I just
there?
want it to look colorful.
Oh, just for the color?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought maybe you wanted to infuse extra pepper in it.
No, I just want it to be colorful.
Okay.
I don't want the stew just to be plain.
Okay, so for how long are we going to cook this?
Being that everything is ready, let's just say for like 5 minutes.
So this is ready even?
Yes.
So it's a good idea when you buy pepper the night before you could pre-boil it. So in the morning, you just cook it quick and easy.
Very well.
Okay, so can we run through this process again for the benefit of those who missed it earlier?
Okay.
How did we make our spinach rice?
I cooked my rice. Yep. Then I added my spinach. Let me just show you guys how it looks like.
Yeah, so there's been a debate here as to what is called in the market.
This is the spinach. What I did was just to add little hot water to it. Then I sieve out the water. Then I added little water and I blended it. So I added it to the rice that is already cooked. You know, some people will say they just want something healthy. Yeah. For it not to be too carbohydrates on the rice, so I decided to go with this. Yes. So if you are the type that you don't want to have that chunk of vegetable on, this is actually
a
perfect.
Great way to still have your vegetables, the necessary vegetables. And of course, seasoning cube.
Seasoning cube, yes, I did.
Okay, so you could join us on social media telling us what it's called locally, this vegetable, all right? Use the hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC. We have to take a break now because it's the top of the hour. Yeah. We're going to the last run, 45 minutes left. Stay with us as Wake Up Nigeria.
Hello once again. It is the #1 breakfast show on Nigerian terrestrial TV. Now, this is not a joke. It's a fact.
Yes, indeed.
Please,
yes, indeed. Now we'll bring you 3 hours non-stop entertainment and information. Now, this is Wake Up Nigeria.
Yes, indeed.
#1.
We have loads of great music too. Food is steaming up in the kitchen, smelling good. Honestly, I feel like I should go and find bread to come and mop up that sauce.
I'm not sure about that green rice.
making.
I'm going to have a taste just to confirm,
I think it's tasty.
Whatever that was. Anyway, this lovely lady over here with the red belt
Thank you.
thing.
Thank you.
Yeah, her name is Titi.
And this dapper gentleman with the bow tie is Yomi Owokwe. Please.
Did you talk about my two-tone brogues?
Okay, the shoes. We can't see the shoes. Yeah, I'm sorry. We can't focus on the shoes.
One in town.
Not next time. We have somewhere you can stream with us. Please stream with us on tvcontinental.tv and on Facebook Live at TVC Connect. Please stay with us and send in those comments. Use the hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
Yes, indeed. Now, straight to the rest of what we've got for you on the show today. We've had 2 hours already of amazing stuff. Now we're going to be having car maintenance, and Ayo Shofela is going to be helping us identify the signs of suspension failure. Now, when your suspension fails, that's the end of the journey. Just know. So Ayo Shofala is going to be talking to us very shortly.
And on SME, our SME segment is going to be joined by the chief Zobo lover, Daphne Akatugba. Now, she is the CEO of Segi's Zobo Worldwide. And that should be a tasty segment, if you ask me. Very, very tasty. And you know, we always have loads more in store for you every single day. Loads.
What's happening today?
What's happening today?
Earlier I talked about working like a dog day. Today is also Oyster Day.
Oyster Day.
Oyster, okay.
And I've always wondered how people enjoy oysters.
I think it's an acquired taste, really. But it's from oysters you get pearls, right?
Yeah.
I'm still trying to acquire that taste.
Yeah, just the pearls are enough for me. I don't need to eat it.
I mean, not all oysters have pearls. The oyster has to be a certain age.
Yeah.
And, has to have, it's a long process though.
I actually think like it's probably the waste product of the animal that is the pearl. I don't know.
No, I actually feel what we actually eat is the waste product, even. Because I'm like,
Come on now, you guys. Why are you?
Okay. Let's stop slamming oysters. Let's stop slamming them. But it's interesting, the whole work like a dog thing. Yeah. A lot of people are putting in a lot of work, but they're not doing it in a motivated state. We're listening to Mr. Fola Daniels now. Yeah. They're just doing everything and anything to bring in some change instead of likely focusing in one area and making sure that one has all your attention.
Yeah, but if you focus,
on
one area, sometimes it doesn't pay the bills.
It won't pay
so you have to do many different things. Anyway.
When you wake up in the morning before you start your day, breakfast time is Kellogg's time.
Normally, I listen to Max FM a lot. It's my favorite station. And yesterday I was listening. I heard the announcement that Kellogg is giving us a wonderful breakfast and a rich goodie bag. And I told my wife, it's a place worth to be today. We need to come out and show love.
I feel so happy because I'm with my children, enjoying ourselves here.
When you talk of Kellogg, you talk of wonderful stuff that they have, and breakfast is quite essential. There's nothing like having a breakfast together in a family. There's this family bonding. You guys talk over the meal, the gist and all of that. And Kellogg's now coming into the equation. LD, Crunchy, I think there is a great synergy within the family and the product. So that's why I'm here.
You see, the truth of the matter is that there's no way. It's a quick meal for me, and because of the nature of my own job, which of course oftentimes you don't get home until around 10, 11, you are waking up by 5 to get set for the day. And it's one of the fastest meal that comes in handy for me, happens to be Kellogg's.
Kellogg's is about families, and it's about getting families together around mealtime. But of course, it's so much more than that. So it's giving the families the opportunity for half an hour every morning to get around and have breakfast. But here we're saying it's Saturday morning, let's have a bit of fun. So we're putting on a bit of DJs, a bit of music, fun, games, etc. And I think people will leave here and say, look, TVC is about entertainment, it's about fun, Kellogg's is about families and getting together around mealtime.
Breakfast time! When you wake up in the morning before you start your day, breakfast time is Kellogg time. For work and for play, a good start to your day. Breakfast time is Kellogg's time.
Yesterday, almost closing time in the waiting day. So I just had it that Kellogg this thing will be doing something and that we should test our names, phone numbers, and the people that we will bring. So now I did it. Actually, I told my wife, She didn't believe me. This morning, if I woke around 5, she yet did not believe me. I said, let us go. He said, she should go alone. I said, let us go. If they are not doing anything or if she have to pay, then we will turn back. So surprisingly, we came here and it's been wonderful.
Family time with Kellogg.
I heard about the event from Entertainment Flash.
All right. So what do you think about this event?
Oh, it's wonderful. It's a very beautiful event. I heard they want to introduce their new products. Kellogg is a very good product. Mostly, I like the Cocoa Pops, but they say this one too is better. I hope it will be as good as that of Cocoa Pops.
So that I know that if you take it, it will go to the baby. Abby? Yeah, let me give you the necklace.
I love TVC, I love Mass FM, and I love Kellogg's.
I eat Kellogg's for breakfast. It keeps me full of energy. It's tasty and nutritious. And schoolwork sits so easy. Kellogg's every day. Breakfast time is Kellogg's time. Breakfast is Kellogg's.
Amazing, amazing. You know, it's holiday season, so, you know, the kids are at home and Kellogg's is just making it more fun. And this morning I have some special people joining me in the building. You guys already know them. You know, they always come once in a while, especially when they have goodies for us. I've got Darlington Igobali here, who's of course,
the marketing manager for Kellogg's.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
Sayin Kadiba, who's a marketing consultant, always somewhere around the corner. Even if you don't see him, he's here with us. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Nice to be here.
And the big man himself, the commercial director of TVC Communications, Ronan Redman, joining us this morning as well.
Good to be here. Good to be on this side of the camera.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So something special happened over the weekend. Families came together, and this happened because of Kellogg's. Talk to us about what happened and the experience itself.
Yeah, it was a great experience. Kellogg's, you know, what we always preach, breakfast time is Kellogg's time, decided to bring families together because we found out that it's not always easy for an average Nigerian family to come together for breakfast. So we added a bit of spice to it, brought them together in one big table with fun. A lot of fun. It was good. Saturday was great. A lot of families came. People were surprised. They didn't believe it, but we made it. We had about 1,000 people sitting together.
Wow.
Having breakfast. Having
And these are families, different families.
Different
you know.
families.
Wow. It was just really, really amazing. That convivial atmosphere. Yeah. And it was all free. And
free.
You know, of course, it was.
People had the
it was
opportunity
really
to take away goodie bags, free sachets, photo frame. It was fun. Wow. I had a magic mirror there.
Yeah, I saw
really
that. I
great.
mean, it was really nice. It was just. Yeah. I mean, what did you think about it? Honestly?
Well, I think for me, it's a very wonderful experience. I think in this part of the climb, we have this tendency to underplay the importance of breakfast. In fact, oftentimes for most families, they take it for granted. You skip breakfast, then you want to manage it with lunch and have something heavy. But of course, in life, what you take in determines what you give out. So, and that's why we preach to people to say it's important for you to make sure that you are well fortified before leaving home. And you know, one culture that seems to be dying is that family convivial environment where families sit together at the table and all of that. So oftentimes, mom is doing her own thing separately, dad is doing, and the kids are on their own.
Dad is already gone
Dad
at
is
5
already
in the
gone at 5
morning.
a.m.
Yeah.
But we are saying at least for once in a while, let's come together as a family. It creates a kind of bonding, give you that feeling of togetherness. And I think that was what played out on Saturday.
Yeah,
the family for a long time sitting together, eating together, and husband and wife looking themselves in the face to say, wow, so this can happen.
Yeah.
And it was really wonderful.
Ronan, I mean, this happened at, our complex here at TVC, and just the idea behind it. What did you think?
Well, it was a fantastic success. It was probably the first time that TVC have done something like this, but it made perfect sense for us to do it because we're on Wake Up Nigeria this morning. It's the only breakfast show in Nigeria. And the reason we do it is to give people entertainment around breakfast time. So we've worked with Kellogg's. We've worked with Kellogg's for well over a year. We worked with them very closely when they launched in this market because Kellogg's felt if we're launching, well, let's get connected with breakfast and people around entertainment. So we did a lot of work with Wake Up Nigeria and Kellogg's. And this is just a further extension of that. This now allows an opportunity for us to say, both of us, both Kellogg's and Wake Up Nigeria, to say thank thank you. Thank you to our viewers, for Max Breakfast, say thank you to its listeners. So we put on this joint extravaganza. It was a Kellogg's event, but to be able to host it on our ground, to get 1,000 families from around the area, it was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful.
I know the TVC grounds are large, but I didn't know they could take 1,000 people, and we just easily did that. It was absolutely amazing. And thank you so much, Kellogg's, and
thank you for partnering
for making it happen for us. Now I'm seeing some something on the table here. And it looks like
cereal.
It looks like a surprise because I actually haven't opened.
I think for us, this is just a way of saying thank you to the TVC team.
Wow.
TVC as well as Max FM. You guys have been wholesome. I recall when we introduced the brand into the country, this happened to be one of the first stations that we came to talk about the 1 million naira factory at Ibejulek, where this group, there's amazing products, is going to be chunked out. And the support you give them is actually the reception from the consumer out there has been wholesome. So let's come and thank the station. Let's appreciate the station, and we equally appreciate the viewers too for staying loyal to the station. And staying loyal
because
to the brand.
we did a lot of giveaways and competitions, and the viewers really participated, especially the families themselves. And so this is it. And so I'm going to allow Mr. Darlington to do the honors for us this morning. So we're going to be standing.
Really appreciate TVC for being there for us. On behalf of Kellogg's Tolerant, we present this to the board members and to the commercial director.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful and great working with you. Great working with you. Thank you. And thank you.
We should get some photographs and make this thing happen. So it says here, with love from Kellogg's. And it's from Mr. Vani Malik, the general manager of Kellogg Tolerant Nigeria.
Mrs. Vani Malik.
Mrs. Vani Malik.
We look forward to the next event.
Awesome.
Bigger and better. Bigger and better.
Wow.
Thanks so much.
Thank you
Absolutely
very
amazing.
much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Darlington, for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much.
And of course, Ronan himself. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Yinka.
We are heading over to the garden now, where Titi and Aya Shofela are on standby for us with Automedics.
All right. Now, once again, thank you to Kellogg's. We feel like a big, happy family. It's time for us to take our auto segment now, and we have the amazing Ayo Shofela here. And I'm, learning a thing or two from her. We're talking about suspension and things to look out for on your suspension. Now, Yomi mentioned inside that if your suspension has issues, you're not moving anywhere. But the first question for me is, what exactly is in your suspension? Does it comprise of many parts?
Exactly.
Okay.
Suspension of a car comprises of so many parts. You can't actually place a number to the amount of parts you find on the suspension because they differ from vehicle to vehicle. But in the real sense, there are some very, very key parts that must be in the suspension.
Okay.
Take, for instance, the shock absorber.
Okay.
You cannot have a vehicle without a shock absorber.
All right. So now I think we need to point and focus on some of these things you're talking about. So the shock absorber seems to be right up here.
Yes, this is the shock absorber assembly. It comprises of the shock itself and then the spring.
Okay. So, you need to talk to the viewers as well. Okay. And as you're talking to the viewers, you talk to me. I'm fine. But what is it about this that the viewers need to look out for?
Okay, as a layman, you cannot take off your tire and start checking all these things. But one of the ways that you can identify when you have a bad shock is your car won't be balanced anymore. You have a case where the car is slightly tilted to one side, or one side seems lower. Sometimes it's both sides, so you find out that it looks lower than your car should actually look.
Okay.
That's a sign that your shock absorber is bad. Okay. Then also when you're going on a rough road, you find out that every road impact, you feel it in the car.
Oh, so that's when you have that boom, boom, boom feeling.
Exactly.
Okay.
And there's no comfort anymore. You find out that you get into a pothole, boom, boom.
Okay.
That tells you that your shock absorbers are bad.
Okay. All right.
So that's just one of the major components you find in the car. Another thing is the brake disc.
Okay.
This is the brake disc. Now, the brake assembly as a whole comprises of the brake disc, the brake caliper, and the brake pads which are in here.
Okay, so the brake pads, I can't really see them, but you're pointing.
This is the brake pad here.
Okay, in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is it.
So
Now,
what do I look out for when it comes to those aspects?
Like I said, you can't take your tire off like this generally, but one way to know when your brake pads are low, the brake fluid in there, which I know I've spoken about severally, the fluid goes down.
Okay.
Because it has to complement the brake pad that has gone
Okay.
low. Now, if the camera can zoom in here, you probably see that this brake pad is very, very low. Very, very low.
This
on
particular
car.
TVC
Exactly.
vehicle's brake pad is low. You should have covered us in that area. But not to worry, go ahead.
So that is the big part. That is a known thing on cars.
Okay.
Suspension comprises of that. Then you also have the stabilizer linkage.
Okay.
This is it. This long rod here.
Okay.
That's the linkage.
What usually happens to that linkage that is visible to the naked eye?
It has a joint, ball and socket joint in here.
Okay.
You can't see it as a car owner. Only your mechanic will be able to do this check for you.
Okay.
But when this goes bad, you hear serious noise on the car.
Okay, all right then. So it should give you a funny sound, like a clanking sound or a scraping sound? What sort of sound?
More like a clanking sound.
Clanking sound. Okay, fantastic.
Then you have the tie rod over here.
The tie rod. Okay.
The tie rod connects to the steering rack. And this is what assists you with turning.
Okay.
So if you're turning the steering and you feel like you have more clearance in your steering, there's every probability that the tie rod is bad.
Okay, so when you said more clearance, you were looking at me like as if I'm supposed to understand what the clearance thing is. Oh yeah, so when you say more clearance.
If you're a professional driver, when you're turning your steering, you expect that as you're turning it, you're getting your accurate turning from the vehicle.
Okay.
Now there are times when you turn the steering and the vehicle moves too much, or it doesn't move enough.
Okay.
In that case, your tie rods are bad.
All right then. So,
now,
okay, go ahead.
Also, pertaining to the tie rods, alignment also comes into play. So you find that your steering is straight, you're driving, but your car is moving to one side.
Oh, I've heard of that before.
Exactly.
I have. Okay,
that
all right.
also tells you that tie rods are bad.
So can we go from the beginning again? The first aspect you mentioned was
the shock absorber.
Shock absorber.
Exactly.
Then you talked about the
brake
brakes.
assembly, the brake disc, the caliper, and the brake pads.
Okay, and then the last one was?
The third one was the stabilizer linkage, which is this. Okay. And then the thyroid.
The thyroid. So you'll be hearing all sorts of noises.
Funny sounds.
Oh, wow. And if you start hearing those sounds, you should get to your mechanic immediately.
You find cars that break down on the road when they shouldn't actually break down. But it's more like a case where the owner has been like, I'll fix it, I'll fix it, I'll fix it, I'll fix it.
All right.
And then it ends up breaking down.
We have to wrap this up now, but thank you so much, Ayo Shofela, for this insight. I'm going to be doing some Googling myself. But we have to head back into the studio now. Wake Up Nigeria continues.
Now, you know that on Mondays we have our SME segments, and Segi's Zobo is a NAFDAC-approved beverage company focused on providing delicious and authentic Zobo drinks with organically grown ingredients from the north of Nigeria. Now, the brain behind this outfit is Daphne Akatuba, who is a graduate of political science, believe it or not, from the University of Ghana. And she's joining us on the show this morning. Good to have you join us.
It's good to be
here. And political science, you should be doing strategy for a politician. But here you are serving us Zobo.
Yes.
So talk to us about this journey and how you started.
It started from basically just doing what I like to do, I was used to doing. I learned how to make Zobo years ago. I can't even remember when. I was much younger. One of our aunties, or probably neighbor, taught us how to make it. And since then, when I and my sister are bored at home, we're just like, okay, let's make Zobo. And I started making it at work, actually, for my colleagues. And they were like, wow, this is really, really good, you know, and you should try it. And I thought, okay, let's try it out. And that's how the journey started in 2016. And at first it was a hobby. It was just something I was doing for fun. And then it became serious and I started to have bigger dreams for this brand. And then the conversation to get NAFDAC approved came about because the stores were not willing to take the product just because that's part of the regulation requirements now, you know, you have to be NAFDAC approved. And that's when we started the journey. It took us 18 months, but finally happened in 2018.
Wow.
And so most of when people say, well, how long have you been doing this? I say from 2018, but actually from 2016.
From 2016. Yes. That's amazing because, you know, I want us to talk about how you go from a hobby to then making this a career because, you know, you making Zobo for me and putting it in your fridge overnight and bringing it to work the next day is completely different.
Totally.
From taking it to the stores and have it be there for weeks and probably even months.
Yeah. Well, the good thing with our products are because they're all fresh materials. I think for me, one of the things I wanted to do was to provide it as authentically as possible. And that's one of the things I always say about the brand. It's authentic. So we make sure that, you know, the everything is fresh. And I don't want to dilute it to the point where you can stay on the shelf. So if you check everywhere the Segi Zobo is currently, it can't stand on the shelf. It has to be refrigerated.
Right.
Because that's how it can stay. And usually with all the shops that we produce, in about a week or 2 weeks, we're already producing a fresh batch for them. So for us, it's, yes, you're right, it's different. Different from cooking in your kitchen.
Exactly.
Because you then now have to standardize the processes. You have to say, okay, this is the standard. And of course, because I'm not there doing this all the time, you have staff. So you need to make sure that everything is, there's an SOP for everything. Okay, so number of this equals this and equals that. So that took me, it's so funny that before I did this, a friend called me and said, okay, sit down. You want to take this thing seriously. You need to do this. You need to do, I was thinking, Zobo. Let me just let me just rough it out. But yeah, he was right. So I had to sit down and now begin to look at it almost differently. So
I mean, the kind of words you're even using now, you're talking about SOPs and standardizing the process.
Yes.
I know that you're talking like a manufacturer because really,
I am a manufacturer.
At the end of the day, that's what you are.
Exactly.
You're a manufacturer, and
exactly.
as you continue to expand, this is, of course, people are going to expect to see the same thing, whether it's in Lagos or in any other location as well. Now, scaling up, your business. Like I said, or like you said, you started in the kitchen, and then you then moved on to a different location. So talk to us about that process and how you began to expand, from just something you're doing for sustenance and then, to a larger scale.
It was tough. I would say tough because a lot of the things that happened, there was no manual for it. And I think that for a lot of entrepreneurs in Nigeria, that's what you find out. There's no book that can say, okay, this and this. I mean, people can explain the broad idea to you, but in terms of how it actually happens, especially because I was making Zobo. I think at the time, Zobo is such a make-at-home product that people don't even have documentation to, okay, how do you do this and how do you do that? Even down to sourcing for equipment. I had to basically go and sit down with them and say, look, this is how we make it. This is what I need. It also took a lot from me in terms of finance as well, because it was different. It's different from your kitchen where you don't calculate rent and when you have to go to a factory. And when you have to go to a factory space that needs to be NAFDAC approved, that's a different ballgame because there are requirements. There's certain things that have to be there. There's a raw material room, there's a product. So there's so many things that go into it. You're just like, every day I wake up, I'm like, do I still want to do this?
I always wonder about it, when we talk about, you just said raw materials.
Yes.
And some of these raw materials, or most of you source them from the north.
Yes, right now.
And this is a big deal in a country like Nigeria because people talk about consistency in the things that you get and whether there's enough of it for you to continue this whole process. These raw materials, how do you get them? And in what quantity? How does it work?
Yeah. So when I first started, of course, in the kitchen, I would go to the markets, close by and just give me one derica, how we do it in the market. But when you start producing Lasco, you realize that no, I need to get it directly from the source. Also because of consistency, like you said. And it's always amazing when you have farmers or you have middlemen that understand what you're doing. So I used to try to source, because I didn't want to go through the stress, but then I had to. So I source from Kaduna right now.
Wow.
Kano and Kaduna. So in terms of the Zobo leaves, ginger, they come from there. And honey is from Ekiti State. So we use honey for one of our flavors. So that comes from Ekiti State. And we had to go directly. And it's amazing that these things are in abundance. I'm sitting down here talking to you and I'm thinking how I need to stock millions of products because
so your mind is not even in this interview.
No.
You're already,
my mind is here.
Yeah.
But and the reason why we try to stock up as well is because of the inconsistencies. You know that today you can go to the market and the product is 2,000 naira and tomorrow is 4,000 naira, but your cost to the customer remains the same.
Yeah.
So a lot of times for us, we try to stock as much because we use fresh products. So pineapples and all of those things might be a bit of a challenge, but we are getting there. So
let's talk about the future. Next 1 minute, because we have to go to the kitchen.
Okay.
And, so now you've started. Now you're moving. People are getting to know the product.
Yes.
What's the next level?
Stores, more stores. We're currently in 26 stores and we hope to grow. We're also doing events at the moment. people are calling us to have Zobo bars, and we are doing a lot of that. So I'm very, very hopeful that Segi Zobo will be in every corner store, every neighborhood store, supermarkets around Nigeria.
Daphne, congratulations, and I wish you all the best in moving this business to the next level and even the next level after that. Please join us in the kitchen for some reward.
Okay.
After we reward you for all your hard work.
I love that.
And for waking up early to join us.
Welcome.
Hey guys.
Welcome, Daphne.
Yeah, this is Daphne.
Oh, I get to sit here?
Yes.
Okay.
So in our corner of the kitchen of Wake Up Nigeria of the world, we have made this as our breakfast.
Oh, that looks interesting.
Yes, and it's courtesy Chef Tina, spinach rice and egg stew. Tell us more about this.
Spinach rice.
Okay, I had my rice pre-cooked or cooked. Then I had my spinach. Spinach, I just added a little of the boiled water just to take away the dirt, and I blended it. By the time I was done with the rice, I just pour the blended spinach into
the rice.
Okay, so it's that simple.
Yes, that's the blended spinach. And it's very tasty too. Go ahead and try it.
Okay.
Have a taste.
Just have a taste, let us know.
Okay. Yeah. Let me try the rice without the sauce first. I'm curious. I just want to know what it tastes. What it tastes like.
And of course, while Daphne is doing that, a big thank you to our friends over at Homely NG for the kitchen accessories.
Yes, indeed. And a big thank you to all our guests today. A big shout out to Kellogg's for joining us as well. We appreciate every single one of you watching right now. And I know Daphne is appreciating this rice. We just caught a look of wonder in your eyes just now.
Wow, this tastes really good.
Thank you.
I like the rice even without the sauce.
Oh, wow.
Because I can... it makes me feel like I'm eating something healthy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It is. Yes, it is. And with that, we have to wrap up today. But we're going to be back tomorrow morning.
Definitely. Tomorrow, Tuesday, is another day.
Yes, indeed.
Have a great
See you at 6 a.m. tomorrow.
Wonderful week.
Bye.
Well done.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Enjoy. Enjoy. It's actually really good.